The morning in Chicago's business district was as bustling as usual. People in suits hurried to their offices, taxis honked at the side of the road, and the glass facades of skyscrapers reflected the cool autumn sun. On the 20th floor of one of these buildings was the headquarters of an investment, companned by a millionaire named Robert Miller. Robert was a man who was firm, confident, and, at first glance, inaccessible. On this day, he was preparing to sign the biggest deal in the last 5 years. The contract, printed on thick paper, lay in his hands when he decided to go down to the hall a little, get some fresh air, and think. Down below by the wall, on a bench for visitors, sat a little girl of about 9 years old. Her name was Emma. She was waiting for her mother, Michelle, who was cleaning the floors in the offices upstairs. The girl quietly leafed through an old magazine and occasionally glanced at her watch. Robert noticed her, sat down on the bench next to her, and a short conversation began between them. He had that very contract in his hands. Emma glanced at the papers, and after a few seconds her gaze changed. She pointed her finger at the document and calmly said that it was a fake. At first, Robert thought he had misheard. He asked again. The girl began to explain that the terms of the contract were written in such a way that in a few months, the company would lose a controlling stake in one of its key assets. It was a trap disguised as a profitable partnership. He read it more carefully and froze. Everything was exactly as Emma said. Details that only a very attentive lawyer could notice were explained by the girl in simple language, but without a single mistake. Robert couldn't believe it. He asked how she knew this. Emma replied that her mother is a lawyer by education. She graduated from university with honors, but after emigrating, she was unable to find a job in her profession. Without work experience and connections, they simply wouldn't hire her. To feed her daughter, she got a job as a cleaner. The next day, Robert called Michelle into his office. For the first time in her life, she entered there not with a bucket, but with documents. He offered her a position, first as an intern, then as a full-time attorney. Just 6 months later, Michelle became the head of the company's legal department. Since then, Emma and her mother's lives have changed. The girl continued to read legal books, and in the evenings her mother checked documents with her, now as a mentor. It all happened thanks to one look, a well-timed word, and the courage of a little girl.